3 months ago, you mentioned that you were looking at the feasibility of establishing or constructing a multi-purpose shelter. How far ahead are you with the plans towards realizing this shelter?
Thank you. If you recall, at the time, what we mentioned was that there is a proposal for a multifunction shelter where a large structure could be used to possibly house the library, CMARC, and museum, as well as function as a cultural center, sports center, and conference center. That proposal was discussed in Council of Ministers and agreed that it would be sent to the steering committee for evaluation. They're still in the process of doing their preliminary evaluations. In the meantime, actually, we've had an opportunity to have a conversation with a rather large delegation from the TU Delft, an engineering school in Holland. Minister Smith and myself actually met with them. And there's different levels within that, so there's actually some doing their thesis projects as well. And we're actually using them or engaging them in the discussion about the construction of a multi-purpose shelter. And some of them are using this topic as part of their study. So they're doing different, studying different aspects of the feasibility of it, possible designs, etc. So while we're waiting for an answer from the steering committee, we are still working on, I think, a very cost-effective way to come up with different concepts to move forward with the project.
Dr. Hespidalis of CAFO, that's a Caribbean Health Agency, said during a panel discussion with the start of the hurricane season, he strongly feels that enough is not being done to educate the masses, or governments throughout the Caribbean region in particular is not doing enough to educate its inhabitants. I'm sure this is one thing you probably are looking at very closely. What is your ministry doing to ensure that residents are brought up to speed in terms of what they need to do to safeguard themselves health-wise during hurricane?
Thank you, Stephen. You know, the ministry has constant outreach campaigns to educate the public from a health perspective. You know that as with the hurricane season comes the rainy season as well. We still have quite a bit of debris, derelict houses, all types of objects around the island that collect water, that become breeding sites for mosquitoes. So from that aspect, we're always very active in terms of educating the population. I think to your point, in terms of being better prepared, as a matter of fact, just this week we're preparing to send a letter out to the schools where we're trying to engage, because very often we found in the past that sometimes engaging the youth in these discussions is very, very effective, because what they learn doing their research, preparing projects, very often that it's a better way to sort of enter into the different homes, that as the youth learn, they in turn educate their parents and the other members of their household. And I think the focus of it is much broader. It encompasses hurricane protection, but it also encourages more about long-term planning, financial planning. So it encompasses things like insurance. You know, how do you, what is a correct kind of insurance to buy? How do you manage your risks? So managing risks is a combination of how you protect your home, but also what insurances, for example, you may purchase. It goes back to our discussions about general health insurance as well, right? As you manage your lifetime savings, how do you protect the savings that you've earned to make sure that when you get older and sick, that those savings aren't depleted in healthcare expenses. So we're taking the topic in a much broader context, but certainly incorporates the how do you protect yourself, how do you plan for, what type of strategies you have in place to manage natural disasters as well.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
I stand here with a few hats. Bakari said he had a few. I'm a part-time St. Peter's person. I used to live full-time in St. Peter's. I'm every day in St. Peter's, so I'm a part-time St. Peter's person. I'm also the president of the Alzheimer's Foundation, and I want to acknowledge that Patsy Pantuflet is one of the motors in founding the Alzheimer's Foundation. We, of course, met at the St. Martha's home when we had a loved one. In her case, a dad. I had my mother there, so we formed the foundation. I think the most fondest memories I have of Patsy is as secretary at the labor office. I'm probably the only hotel manager that signed 8, 9 collective labor agreements. And Patsy always used to take minutes of the meetings. And out of all the union leaders, she probably remembered fondly Willie Hayes. He probably was the biggest client she had. I also wear the hat as St. Martin Development Fund. You may know that we gave uniforms to 346 students recently. And I want to pledge on behalf of St. Martin Development Fund that whatever you raised, you still have a month and a half, that we will triple whatever you raised. In other words, if you are helping 11 kids, you still have a month to help 33 kids. So whatever it is. Kenneth Cook mentioned that government and subsidy. I want to mention that St. Martin Development Fund subsidizes 24 foundations. Regrettably, Pantuflet Villa Foundation is not one of them. We would love to do business with you. But we subsidize monthly ICANN Foundation, Safe Haven Foundation, Helping Hands Foundation, after-school programs, senior programs, social, Ujima Foundation. We spend about 2.9 million guilders a year on different foundations. So I regret very much that I got via Rita the communication for this evening. I didn't know the total content, so when I asked her how much, I decided we could triple it, and I applaud very much your efforts, because basically, what you're basically saying, it wasn't from all sponsors, but everyone that came to your home for the events you kept contributed, and that's very, very commendable. Thank you.
Mr. Franca, on behalf of Valentina Foundation, on behalf of the families that we are going to help, we want to thank you. And we will be reaching out to you very soon in order to have that discussion and hopefully be the recipient of the funds so that we can continue this mission on behalf of the families. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize Ms. Claire Ashton, who was our first speaker in 2017, who delivered a very, very, very enlightening keynote address. I mean, her opening alone, she had a conversation with Patsy, was very, very touching. And I really want to recognize I also want to say to the entire community, you came, you saw, you heard. Your task, your awesome responsibility is to go back and tell your friends and your family what you heard and what you saw. And let them know that whenever you hear Pontifex Villa Foundation is organizing something, you know exactly what that money is for. You know exactly what the mission is, because you came, you saw, you felt the vibe, you saw what the result is. And that's what it's about. So when we say family, we mean it. When we say community, we mean it. Because at the end of the day, we all in this together.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Bib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for. Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
First of all, it has been part of our discussion for quite some time now, whereby we approach many instances, and you can see up till now we constantly ask businesses to do their part and to have a more social price on what we consider as items, basic items, the fruits, vegetables, and some of the canned stuff and whatever have you. We are not making too much headlines, so during my stay in the Dominican Republic, I was assigned by the platform to do a research and get the results to the platforms and see what we can explore out of such discussion or dialogue. We did make some breakthrough over there in the sense that we've gotten ourselves with some good suppliers that are willing to send us here affordable foodstuff, and it is our intention that as soon as no later than in the month of July to start and to be able to provide affordable or to bring real relief to the membership or to the public of St. Martin, bring real relief in the sense of first fruits and vegetables. We are right now working out the details and covering all the bases, so we can have this product here as soon as possible. These products brought to the island, very affordable, and it goes hand in hand with having a good health. So once people can have a good, affordable means of having his basic items purchased, he's systematically also improving his health. So we're looking forward for the coming weeks now, just a couple of weeks, to have the first shipment sent to St. Martin, whereby we will be announcing and giving more information in every press briefing. We'll give more and more information. You can rest assured that it will happen at the Whitefall. We already agreed amongst us, and that it will be hosted at the Whitefall building. In the coming weeks, we will give more information where that's concerned. But one thing the general public and our membership can count on, that the prices will be good.
If you could tell me what some of the things that will be coming to the island to help the poor in need.
Okay, our focus right now has been on fruits and vegetables, which we believe relates directly to a good health. Because if you're combating, and the reason why, because you can clearly see that because of the affordability of food items on the island, you will see how it affects people's health condition, because they're going to have to substitute it with inferior product, or such as a sugar-based product, etc. And during my stay there, I did some good programs, especially where health is concerned, and you can see clearly that in the fruits and vegetables, people can eat right and it's affordable. You will see a big turnaround in terms of their health condition, and you will see the economic effects also, because they can stretch their dollar further. So we among ourselves have decided that we are not going to depend on second and third party for the best living conditions for our table, but we will take that initiative ourselves. And were able to convince two good associations out there to back us where this is concerned. So we're just working out the details with these organizations. The product them will be from avocados to sweet potato. You will get basically everything, like other fruits, pineapple, mangoes, cassava. You will get all those items that he usually picks up in the supermarket. We will be bringing, because these are things that our general membership use and for the daily staples. So we are focusing now on that. The phase 2 and phase 3, where we will increase that with other products, we will give additional information. But for now, it will be these items that we eat, we purchase in the supermarkets, which are fruits, vegetables, and so. It's what is on the list right now. In the coming weeks, it should reach the island.
Hello, St. Martin. My name is Stephanie Medina, and I play football with the Walichi Women soccer team. I have represented St. Martin in many different games. For example, the Dutch Caribbean Women's Soccer Cup. I played against Bonaire, Aruba, and Curacao right here in this stadium. Sports matter to me because it makes me happy, it keeps me fit and healthy, and it is very fun. So I ask the business community to take on this challenge and help us rebuild our facilities. And I also ask the community to nominate the local businesses in your area and take on the challenge and step up for sport. Why? Because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sport Facebook page for more information. Hashtag sports matter, hashtag are you in?
Anti-money laundering and proper gaming practices are not just about making sure the money spent on our islands can be accurately accounted for. Throughout the Caribbean and the rest of the world, economic trends and challenges to maintain legitimacy in business practices continue to play a pivotal role on how we do business. Whether we are prepared to address the obstacles appropriately or sweep them beneath the proverbial rug will affect the type of activities we attract. This is a significant concern for the government of St. Martin, especially considering that investments in primarily tourism-driven initiatives and destinations such as ours is crucial for our future economic sustainability. Here in St. Martin, when we talk about gaming and anti-money laundering activities, our minds immediately shift to suspicious number gaming operations that we see popping up from time to time and then disappearing. We often consider that the real threat to our clean slate of being a haven for safe financial transactions comes only from the little illegal numbers games operated out of a 4x5 wooden booth along the roadside. From a tax perspective, the government stands to be left out of a considerable sum in financial transactions without regulating the gaming industry. This is true. Moreover, players who spend their hard-earned money will soon come face to face with the reality that they are purchasing, in some cases, from unauthorized third parties. We now know that some businesses on St. Martin sell the US Lottery Powerball and other games, which have clear cross-border sales restrictions. These restrictions will make it impossible for legitimate winners from St. Martin to lay claim to their jackpots in the US. We have a responsibility to educate our players, and we have to do so with the understanding of that because of the need to get rich. Chance games will maintain an enticing attraction to everyone who has that dream. This is not only to say that all number games are operating illegally. Institutions such as IGT, that is a publicly traded and offers the Caribbean Lotto numbers games across the region, have had a long-standing track record of above-ground practices. To ensure more businesses can operate and contribute to the coffers of the government of St. Martin, we must now move to protect the legitimacy of the gaming industry and ensure strict regulations to decriminalize the gaming industry and to stop the island from being blacklisted. 8 years ago, the Caribbean branch of the Financial Action Task Force conducted a mutual evaluation of St. Martin to determine its risk and exposure to, amongst other things, money laundering. These findings were submitted to the government with some recommendations for improvement. Unfortunately, it seems none of the suggestions have been executed. Today, we are about 2 years away from the 4th round of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force mutual evaluations, which should occur in 2021. These evaluations are necessary as they determine how robust we are and if we should be blacklisted as a country for having irregular or unsafe financial practices that can be construed or even open the floodgate to money laundering and corruption. What does this being on the financial blacklist mean for a small island like St. Martin, so heavily dependent on international trade and investments? Before moving further, I ask you to wrap your mind around for a moment, around a challenge of one of our neighboring islands is presently facing. Real estate development grew significantly over the past 10 years in St. Kitts, based on the open market sale of property through citizenship by investment program. This was a legitimate and of course profitable means, and now being challenged by the European Union, who is concerned that unsavory acts of finding their ways to secure petition passports and using them as a means of gaining entry to other countries in which they are probably blacklisted. My point is that regulations such as these ought to protect, and they do matter. Without the right gaming regulations and proper anti-money laundering practices, we put our economy and our people at risk. It would be irresponsible of us as a government to allow this to occur. Amongst the risks are having bank transfers blocked and increased de-risking by banks. This will mean that many businesses will have to hide their money under a mattress because the banks would no longer accept it.